Hello, and welcome to Mostly Minnesota Music Podcast Edition. I'm Ann Tracy. I'm here with my co-host,
Heather Baker.
Yes, we are excited to have Faith Boblett with us. Hello, welcome.
Hello, thank you.
Yes. I always think it's so funny to have somebody on that we kind of know, because I want to just jump into how was yesterday. But I'm gonna pull myself back a little bit because I know we want to talk about new stuff that's coming out, but just tell us a little bit about you, because we had.
Yeah. Okay. I'm from Minnesota. I grew up in northern Minnesota. I came to the Twin Cities for my last 2 years of high school at Perpich. And I've kind of been here ever since. So coming up, I think this was 11 years since I graduated high school this summer. Weird, crazy.
Nice.
Got that 10-year reunion in before COVID hit. Anyway.
Very good.
Yeah, but I'm also a dental hygienist. I just graduated from school for that. So
that was the beginning of the summer, or that was a summer feat, as I recall?
Yes. COVID kind of, has made its way infiltrated into our lives. And that was one other way, a little delay, but I'm a dental hygienist. I live in Minneapolis. I love writing music. I love being a part of the music scene here. Just like getting on stage to sing a backing vocal is everything to me, and I'll never take it for granted again.
Isn't it?
Yeah. I feel like that's me in a nutshell. I don't know.
That's good. I know. I like that. I think I didn't realize that you went to the Perpich, so that's great.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good. I always I learned something new. That's fantastic. Well, it's funny kind of looking at some of the stuff today. I did see a video of you on YouTube. I think it's 10 years old, and I bet it was taken when you were there.
Hey.
And I thought, oh my goodness, she looks the same as she. No, but it was a great. I mean, it was just, you were so poised. I love looking at it. It was great.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll take it.
Yes, you should. And so, how did you get involved in music?
My parents met in a band. Like, that's how they met each other. And so music was always, a huge love in our house growing up. And so, I don't know. They always just were very encouraging with that, but never pushy, which was nice, because I was kind of a jerk when I was a kid. So I think if they would have pushed me, I'd have been like, Mom, whatever. No. Yeah.
We all have our moments.
Yeah, I definitely did. But yeah, so that's kind of why. And then, just really encouraging. My dad is still in my band. He plays bass, which is super fun. So we have a really fun relationship. And yeah, that's kind of how it all started. We moved to northern Minnesota when I was 11. And I went from probably a class of maybe, I don't know, 500, 600, 700 that I would have graduated with to 40. And so living in the middle of nowhere, especially in the winter months, lended itself to me just being like, okay, I guess I'm locking myself in my bedroom and I'm going to write songs now. So yeah.
Well, that's a good plug for northern Minnesota.
Yeah.
People want to start music. That's great. Now I'm just going to fast forward, because it was so much fun to see you on stage 2 weeks ago, a week ago.
It might have been 3 weeks ago.
No way. That COVID time is the worst.
It kills me. Yeah.
So you got to tell us a little bit, because you got to play it at Hi-Fi Hair.
Yes.
Your dad was on stage with you.
Sure was. It was so fun. It was I had played one other show this summer up in Cross Lake for their outdoor music series. Socially distanced, people wearing masks. It was good, felt safe. And that was mid-June, I think. So the mask mandate wasn't fully in effect yet, but it was outdoors anyway. And so, it was so fun at Hi-Fi. May Simpson organized the show with Johnny. And it was, the come down was unreal. That was wild. The next day, a friend messaged me and was like, hey, how was the show? And I was like, honestly, so fun. And I don't know if I'm ever going to be okay again.
It was a super fun show. It was fun to see. It was so fun to see you play with your dad. It was fun to see you play up there. And it felt like a show.
Yeah.
And I think, and that for folks who don't know, they do it behind Hi-Fi Hair, kind of in Loring Park. So behind, is it still Barler Cat, whatever the restaurant is right there, that little alley right there. My pointing to it, but it's
right back there.
right there. And the band is up high, and then everybody stands out, and it does. I mean, it's good for natural distancing. And everybody had a mask on, and everybody was good, but it was a fun show.
Yeah.
It'll happen again. It'll happen.
Yes,
again.
It has to, I think.
It will happen again. Yeah, more things are happening. And speaking of things happening, you've got music coming out on Friday.
Yes.
So tell us about it. I'm so excited.
Do you want the like backstory? It's so aggressive.
Damn it, I would just about learn how to play music to do what I would like that backstory.
So this backstory is pretty intense. Just to throw it out there, everything's fine. I have no hard feelings now. I met with this person over a year ago, but basically had a breakup like 3 years ago almost. And it wasn't meant to be, and that's all well and good, and I'm happy he's married. Cool. Who he married happens to be the girl, how there's sometimes like the girl or the guy you're always worried about, and you're like, oh, I just get a weird vibe, man. I don't know. And so he ends up moving in from where we lived with this gal. And no, not dating. And then it comes out, yes, dating. And me in that moment was not cool with that. I was so mad. I was very mad. Now I can laugh about it, but I was like sick with a sinus infection. So I like woke up. I was so pissed. I took like 2 Sudafed, and then I sat like not in this apartment, but like against my bed with my phone. And I was just like typing lyrics for like probably like a half hour. I wrote like 3 songs worth of lyrics in like 30 minutes. Maybe not even. It might have been like 15. And I texted my guitar player at the time, Nick Costa. I was like, all right, we're writing a breakup record. It's happening. So yeah, anyway, they got married this summer and they're very happy, and I'm happy for them, and it's all good and no hard feelings. But yeah, it was born out of like pure rage. I was so mad. I was like, come on, man. Anyway.
I knew it.
Yeah, they earned it. They earned it. I mean, to a certain degree, it's, as you say, and it's nice when you can get back to a point and say, it just wasn't meant to be. It just went. But sometimes those things untangle better than other times. Yes,
I agree. Yeah. I think even like from the moment that we ended up ending the relationship, I was like, well, it's not good. And neither of us are happy. So like, why continue that? Right. But when that like little like dagger kind of twisted, I was like, okay, let's go.
Gloves
when they get the happiness button before you do, it's always like, seriously.
It happens every time with me. I think I'm broken. It's cool.
No, you just get good music out of it, so you win too, right?
That's true. I'll take that.
Listening to this, I was like, maybe I should take up the guitar.
Let's it out.
It's got to be cathartic.
100%. Oh yeah. And that's the thing. I was talking with somebody recently. I kind of had this idea in my head when I went to school to become a hygienist that I might eventually like to split my time between Minneapolis and Nashville and try out like songwriting there and see what that's like. I've never been, so I'm feeling very green even saying that. But anyway, but then I'm thinking like any song I write has to like have I have to feel it. Otherwise, if I'm not, I like throw it away. I'm like, well, it feels like I'm bullshitting. So why am I even putting time into this? So I can't. So I'm like, oh, maybe this dream that I had is maybe not even a thing anymore. Anyway, but yeah, it feels very cathartic to like be like, that's how mad I was.
Well, and there's maybe you need a writer's group to help you recognize that just because you're not feeling it with all the angst and blood doesn't mean it isn't awesome.
Right. I think that that's a good idea. I like that.
I always, when I was a kid, I used to write poetry, and at a certain point, if you think you're going to write poetry or music for your life, you have to realize that happy people can write too. Or you have damned yourself to a special chair in the room.
I think I'm sitting in it right now. No. Yeah.
I know, but there's nothing like a good angry heartbreak song, really.
I feel like that too. And this record to me, like as I was writing it with Nick, and just some of them I already had like mostly written before him too, but I was like, this is my Jagged Little Pill. Like this is my version of that. So it feels good. And I'm excited because this was so long ago now. Like I'm ready for it to just be out so I can be like, okay, hopefully someone else can like feel this anger in like a cathartic way, not in a cycle way. I don't want that, and it'll feel good for somebody to listen to. I don't know.
Yeah, sometimes we want a little music for a cycle way too. I mean, it's just to help you get through the cycle.
Yeah. Work through it.
There will always be a place in the world for breakup music.
I think so. And I think like, I don't know, just recently conversations are so dominated by COVID and just like how it's affected all of us, and rightfully so. It's affecting us every second of every day.
Yeah.
But to be able to have something else to connect with and talk about that, like, and maybe just get your mind out of the almost mundane daily crap. We don't know what day it is when we wake up because it's the same
same damn thing. What would make the difference?
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm hoping. I felt kind of conflicted earlier this year. Like, should I even put it out? Like, I don't know. And then I'm like, you know what? For me, I have to. And if somebody, even if one person like hears a song and it feels like good to them, that's good enough. That's great. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, I was listening to some of the songs. So I was running and I was like, oh, it might get me running a little longer, which is not what I like to do. I like music that makes me run a little longer because I'm not a natural runner. But yeah, I think it's, well, and we're thankful for people who do put out music because yes, we all pay attention and yes, we're all engaged and yes, we're doing this, but we need a break, man.
Mm-hmm.
We need, unfortunately, well, I mean, it's 1 month from now, we'll know if things are going to be changing or not. The election is coming up. Exactly. But whatever happens that day, the ride is not half over.
No.
Mm-hmm. So we're just going to have to learn to live with the new normal too.
Yes, absolutely.
I was going to say, I view new music as a way to get through the winter too, because it's like, everyone's binge watching Netflix and whatever, or listening to their music. When there's something new, it's like, yay! It just kind of lets you survive a little weekend or, just kind of gives you, like you said, Friday, something to look forward to. Yeah. How are you going to celebrate Friday?
That's funny.
Or what are you going to do, I guess?
I don't even know. Well, the other day, my sister, she's been up with my parents through most of COVID, like since March. And she's like, hey, I'm going to be in town. Like, if you want to hang out on Friday. And I was like, well, what's Friday? I was like, what's Friday? She's like, your album's coming out.
Is it my birthday? What is that? You are so funny.
Technically, it's like, my half birthday plus a month. So no, I mean, it is, but I hate that I just said that. So just pretend. Everyone pretend I didn't say that. Anyway. Yeah. So I think we're going to, my sister and my brother lives in the area and we're all going to maybe get Tracy's, my favorite restaurant, get some food from there and play some games and hang out and just probably not listen to it. I don't know. I've had, like being the artist and the writer, like you have to go back and listen to mixes and the masters and approve everything. And so like, I'm like, I don't really know if I need to hear it again, but maybe listen one celebratory listen. It's the cool thing to me. It's 10 songs and it's like not even 27 minutes long. They're like quick, like get in there, get out.
That is like punk rock quick. That's impressive. That is. But it'd be fun to listen to it with people. I mean, that's where you should kind of spend some time where people can tell you how much they like it. You can see, even if it's a listening party online, where you can see the comments and you can see people enjoy it.
I like this idea. Okay, might have to do it.
I think that you should. I think people would enjoy that. It's fun to have an event of some sort or another, and then for people to let people know. And if anybody has any questions about the music, you can write and tell them this is what this means. This was
about. No.
I remember Ann and I seeing you play at the Astor, and you played your song Clay, and I was like,
oh yeah.
That one gets me.
Me too.
Something about that so I can love it more, please.
Yeah, that one is so I don't even know. I was talking to Andrea Swenson, and I did like the home sessions, the virtual home sessions that they did this spring and summer. And she was like, was that about like being in the music industry? And I was like, no, it's not. But at the same time, it's just about being my perception of like how I've taken being a woman, especially like I'm 29 now, and I've been, I don't know, I've been around, I guess. I don't know. And you just like really start to see it more. Like when you're younger, you're a little more naive, and you're kind of just like maybe giving people the benefit of the doubt a little bit more. And now I'm like, oh my God, really? Did you just say that to me? Or like, I have friends that have played shows, and they're like the front person of the band, they're a woman. And then the sound guy comes up to the guitar player and is talking to them. And it's like, because it's a guy. And you're like, really? Anyway, so I wrote that just kind of feeling pretty like hopeless about what the future is. And I played it at my release show for Enough back a couple years ago now. And this lady came up to me after and was like, I was waiting for the twist in the end. Like, when's the girl power moment going to happen? And I'm like, you tell me.
What a great answer.
Yeah, I don't think I was that harsh, but that's what I was thinking. I was like, thank you for coming to my show, but also I don't really know because
I don't know. Hey, a lot of us have been working on this a long time. It's
I don't write fairy tales.
Right. Yeah. So that was a kind of an interesting moment, just that moment in time, just thinking like, come on, anyway, so yeah.
Well, it's a reminder that we all have to work on it. I mean, we're working towards it. It's getting, because I would say from clay to ugly things, it seemed like there's a definite change in attitude to that song. It seems like a similar topic, a different take.
Yeah. Yep. That one. Yeah, definitely. It was funny. I think the Current was doing like Minnesota Music Song of the Day in April, and that was like the song of the day. And Jade was talking about it, and she was like, this is all about gaslighters. And I was like, yeah, it is. I was like, you get me. So yeah, that one definitely. I don't know. I remember so that one, Nick had written the guitar part, and then they recorded the music, and I didn't have lyrics for it yet, or a melody or anything. And I went home and to my parents, and my dad had like a studio set up in the guest cabin. We sound rich, we're not rich, it's fine. Anyway, so I was like working on it, and then I just kind of had this idea, because my mom always used to be like, don't say ugly things to your sister, like, things like that. And then I was like, okay, ugly things, like that is what we say to each other sometimes. And then I ended up like writing the song and whatever, recorded a demo of it, and I played it for my sister on the way back to Minneapolis. We like carpooled up there, and she just like looked over at me, and she's like, Faithy, and I just started bawling. I was like, oh my God, sorry, I don't know why I'm crying. But it was kind of like a realization of like, I don't know, when you're in a toxic relationship and you don't realize it, and then all of a sudden there's like that moment, and you're like, whoa, I have so much work to undo. It was like a shoot, okay, here we go. So yeah, definitely a little more anger in that one.
I think it's good. And I think when, it's a good thing to write about, because if you, let's just say if you attract or are attracted by the gaslighting folks in the world, just, speaking for a friend, but you don't recognize it. You don't like, you do think it's, oh, did I not say that? Oh, okay. I guess you're right. I guess that, so I think that the more that you I'm trying to think of when I first even heard the term gaslighting. And I was like, oh, okay. Now so that happens to other people too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it is all about just like making you question yourself and what you want, what you need. Not only what you want, but what you need, like from somebody. And it's like, why can't we all just get to a place where we can just acknowledge, like, hey, I see this is what you need from me, and I can't give that to you. Perfectly reasonable and acceptable response. And then you can say, okay, well, this isn't going to work as a friendship or a romantic relationship or a familial relationship, any of it. It can just be, okay, well, let's just part ways, and that's okay. No hard feelings. But instead, it just has become such a power trip, and it's icky. So I agree. It's hard to notice, but once you see it, it's hard to not.
And then you look at 2020, look back, you look with the 2020 vision. I don't even mean 2020 the year.
Oh, I was like, damn.
You can take that either way. But when you look back at things, you're like, oh.
It's much easier to see, like, in retrospect. You can be like, okay, all right. So, yeah, that was like that moment in the car with my sister, and she was like, oh, and I was like, shit, yeah, oh, darn it. Anyway. Yeah.
But it's good. Now, when you sing these songs, do they feel cathartic? Do they make you feel stronger? Is there a moment of bringing you back to that?
In terms of like the relationship that I wrote this record about, not to the relationship, because I feel really at peace with that now. And even like last summer, I got coffee with him, and I was like, I wrote this album. I don't feel like that anymore. But I'm gonna put it out, but I don't want, like, if, like, let's say the current plays one of the songs or somebody does and you hear it, I don't want you to think that like I'm still harboring this anger, because I'm not. So I don't feel it in that way, but I can like draw other experiences to mind, and like sometimes I don't even try to, and I'm like, oh man, like, why do I have to feel like that right now? So, and actually with Clay this summer, I had something kind of messed up happen, and that show that I played up in Cross Lake, I played Clay. There was like a lyric I couldn't even sing. I couldn't even I got choked up. It sounds so stupid, like my own song, like, but I like couldn't muster the whatever strength to like get that lyric out. So I just like stopped. And once again, my sister, she's very, her name is Kendra, which means the knowing woman. She's very much a knowing woman. And she like saw it happen and like locked eyes with me. And I was like, don't look at me, I'm going to start crying. But yeah, it can be super cathartic, even if it's not like the original intent of the song or the original inspiration of the song. Yeah.
I was going to say, I'm skipping to your sister since you brought her up.
Yeah.
She is part of your video making entourage, or how does this happen?
Yeah. So she is an incredible human being. She's uber talented. She's like a better singer than me, and she's a visual artist. She's like she's so good. She's done like all of my album artwork ever, and she's helped me with videos. And for Clay, she like, for all the videos I've ever done, she's pretty much been behind that. And for Clay, she worked super hard on that one, because I had like probably like 80 people submit videos to be a part of it. So she went and like sliced them all up, and if you haven't seen it, it's coming up.
Whole bunch of different people.
A bunch of different girls and women that just like submitted video to be a part of it, which was so cool. I like thought maybe like 10 people. I don't know. I didn't know what to expect. So it was really cool to like start seeing videos from people I didn't even know come through. And yeah, it's almost been 2 years. So I'll share that out there once it's been a couple of years again. But yeah, so she's creative force and really smart. And yeah, I feel so like lucky and she's my little sister too. I'm like the big sister, and I'm like, but I might be older, but I'm kind of like the little sister.
I have a sister who was like that. She was a school teacher.
Oh.
She was taller than me when we were 13 and 14.
Mm-hmm.
So she's always a little more grown up.
Yes. That's true for my sister too. Actually, my whole family, I'm like randomly the 5'3", but my brother's like 6'6". I'm like, hey, what's up? Anyway, yeah.
Does the rest of the family, does your brother get involved? You've got your dad up on stage, you've got your sister doing some of the video. Other people help you? Other families?
Mean, my mom has helped a couple of times, like with just like design work a little bit, and also just love. She's so wonderful. But my brother is a very supportive observer. He is an electrical engineer, very fancy. Yes. So he's kind of, I mean, I've never heard him sing, but I have a feeling he's good. You know what I mean? Like if everybody else in the family can sing, you're like, you can sing probably too, right? Probably. But he's like, he's shy. So about that at least. But yeah, so he's a very supportive human and I love him. Random little tidbit. He just got a mini golden doodle named Sadie. She's so cute. Anyway, if you want to see her, you can just look at my Instagram. She's all over it. Yeah.
Do you have any favorite songs on the new album, or did you put a lot of thought into the order of the songs on the?
I did actually. Yeah. I like feel like, I have like 4 that are coming to mind. Am I allowed to swear? You are, because
that is the silver lining of not being on the radio anymore. The FCC doesn't give a fuck what we do, so go ahead.
Okay, because there's a few explicit songs on this record, which I've done a couple times maybe one time in the past. But there's one song, it's so mad. It's called Basically Fuck You. And my the guy Noel Tate, my friend and producer that I worked with on this album, we were like toying with the idea of like, should we try and find like a word to substitute fuck, like so that we can make a radio edit. And then we counted like how many times, because the chorus, it says basically fuck you like a couple times at least, and then there's an echo, so it says it like, I don't know, I counted once and it was a lot of times. So we said, no, we just won't do that. But okay, anyway, that was just a side note. But yes, I put a lot of thought into the order. I was home in the winter, just like walking on the dirt road my parents live on. And this might sound so weird, but I was kind of just like, okay, this one feels right. And then I'd listen and then I'd like, all right, next. And I was just like keeping track of the order. And then I listened like a couple more times in that order and I was like, yep. And I think I only made one change.
Wow.
Yeah, to me, it feels like it really flows and it kind of tells a little bit of a story. Like if you're really reading between the lines, like of the songs. So yeah, I'm excited. And it ends on like here's the real intel. The last song is a song that I wrote for my ex's mom because I loved her and we had a really cool relationship. And I used to run into her at the yoga studio pre-COVID and we'd still like chat and be like, how are you? Oh my God. So anyway, I wrote this song for her and it's called Michelle. She goes by Shelly, but it's called Michelle. And it's like this, like, I hope you know that like I still like really care about you, which you would think maybe it's about the dude, but it's about his mom. Isn't that embarrassing or
awesome? That's awesome.
It's kind of cute. I feel like so that's like the bookend on it because it's like, and I feel like it kind of plays into the fact that like now I'm like not mad anymore and like I'm not harboring this anger. So yeah. Anyway.
Well, and I think in another way, again, that it's really the women's perspective, because you don't often see like, oh, I really liked your parents and I miss it. I don't hear that same story from men as often as I do. And obviously there are some situations like that, but I think that, when you spend a lot of time with someone over, a couple of years, you do get to know the family. You feel like you're a part of the family,
Yes.
and to know how to transition that. I think I love that. That's lovely.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one too. I think that one, so Michelle, basically, fuck you. The first track is called Lose You. I don't know. I just like, I'm like, I toy with the idea of just like uploading it to Bandcamp and just being like, go crazy. But I don't even, like maybe like 3 people would go crazy and be like, okay. But anyway.
Well, we'll wait for the listening party on Friday.
Yeah. Okay. I got to figure out how to do that. My millennial ways with like getting the video to work on Zoom. I'm like, hold on 1 minute.
Yeah. Here's the screen share. Make sure you shared sound too. I just saved you 15 minutes there.
Perfect.
My job is techie during the day. I'm techie.
I'll just call you and be like, please help me.
Let's do it. Yeah. I think it's important to have you'll have your family there, which is awesome. Your sister and, but I think to have some way to kind of publicly celebrate it a little bit.
Yeah. I like that plan. I like that a lot. I'm going to do it.
When you met for coffee, did you tell the old boyfriend that you wrote Michelle too?
I think I did. I don't know if I'm sure I did. We had like a really candid conversation and caught up too, because we hadn't seen each other like for more than just like in passing at a show in like a couple of years at that point. So I think I did. I'm not 100% sure, but I would give myself a 95%. Because I was like, well, if you ever hear anything, he goes, well, I probably won't listen to it. And I was like, well, you probably should.
Yeah, good for you.
He wasn't trying to be mean. I think he was just like, I probably just don't need to listen to like my ex-girlfriend's angry album about me. Fair enough. But
I feel like you should. You should.
Opportunity for some growth. I don't know.
They never take those opportunities.
No.
I shouldn't. I say that cavalierly. Some do, some don't.
Some do.
I found it interesting to read that you wrote notes to yourself pre-whatever, because you weren't ready to hear whatever your inner core was knowing. Can you tell me a little bit? I feel like I should be writing some stuff down. Yeah. I feel like you give me a little jump start. I might have an album for you too.
Hey, so I feel like when I was writing Enough, which is the album that came out almost 2 years ago, that was while I was with this guy. And what I meant by that was like when I finally like heard the album finished, which was after we had ended our relationship, I was like, whoa, all these songs are like in a way breakup songs, but it was like I didn't realize they were. Do you know what I mean? Like it was like all of a sudden, whoa, oh, I get it now. Like I was giving myself these signs. I was writing these songs that were like, it's not like it was before and this and that. And like, I wanted love to be enough and all this stuff. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, duh. Come on. But sometimes I think like for me in that particular relationship, like I had to know I gave it every ounce of me. And by the time it was over, I was never looking back. I kind of had it in my head. I was like, all right, if we talk today and it doesn't change and I don't hear what I need to hear, then I'm done. And it didn't. So it was done. And that was it. But it took until then and that light switch flipping for me to like even notice that some of those songs had that meaning behind them. So yeah, so I don't know, it was so weird. And then even just like sometimes I'll like use my notes app in my phone as like a journal or a diary. I'll also use Twitter as a diary. So, but I'll go back and read it and be like, whoa, I was so upset. Like, why didn't I do anything about that? And I hope that that's something I've like figured out and cultivated for myself, like moving forward, that if I notice that I'm feeling certain ways, that I'm just not going to like put up with it, because life's too short, especially like I always said that and thought I understood it. And then COVID. And I was like, wow, I really didn't know. So, yeah.
None of us knew.
No.
You remember we could like, oh, there are 3 things to do tonight. Oh, I'll have to drive from one to the other.
Yeah. Or there are 3 things to do tonight, but I'm tired. I'm just going to stay home and get pizza. Never again. I mean, I'll always get pizza, but I won't skip anything for pizza.
No.
Yeah.
Are you writing any material now?
I haven't in the last little bit, but I've between like January and maybe July-ish, I've written probably like an EP's worth of music. So once I have been working as a hygienist for a little longer and I can save up a little more money, I'm planning on going back into the studio, hopefully like spring, to record these songs. I have this song that I wrote called American Self-Portrait that I like put out on like a live video on Instagram and Facebook, and I really wanted to release it like by the election, but it's just not going to happen. So I'll just share it again and be like, just don't forget to watch this and vote. But yeah, so some more stuff inspired by like more recent events personally, and also just the world we're living in now. So, but not a lot. I wish it was more.
Why? What makes you say that?
I feel like during like when everything was shut down and I wasn't able to be at work and I wasn't able to be at school, like I think we were all in survival mode, and I can see that now a little better, but I wish that I would have been maybe a little more intentional about trying to like sit down and write. But I mean, you can't force it either. So I just wish that it maybe would have happened to have been flowing at that time.
That I understand.
Yeah.
That I understand. But I think sometimes our brains just need
to shut
it's like
down.
Sleep. I mean, it's like the big sleep for a while, just a chance to just do something else. And I'm not a big fan of doing nothing. It makes me crazy. Those were crazy making times for me, because I'm used to going out and doing things always,
Yeah.
But I know some people enjoyed that calm. But I do think it does give our brain, kind of subconscious chance to do its work too.
Yeah, it was so crazy. I was going so hard, like so much going on. I was like full-time in dental hygiene school and trying to like prepare finishing this album, working, doing online credits towards my bachelor's in dental hygiene. And then all of a sudden it was like spring break was over and it was a dead stop. And all of a sudden I like hit the wall like at 100 miles per hour. I was like, holy crap. I don't know how to just sit here, but I figured it out pretty quickly. It just took a few days. I was like, I can do this actually. I'm not so mad. But yeah, really crazy. We finished like getting the album done like in the nick of time before things kind of really got scary. We've like finished tracking guitars and vocals like mid-March. And then I went up home and stayed there for a couple months. So to my parents' house, it was real weird.
Oh yeah. How's that living back home for?
It was lovely. It was really nice. I was trying to take it as like, what other 29-year-old gets to like go spend 6 weeks with their parents? I mean, well, many, but in normal times,
right,
like non-COVID, you don't really get that chance to kind of soak up that time with your parents. And my sister was there too. So it was awesome. I was in Mexico and in a couple airports before that. So I was like, I'm not getting anywhere near you guys for 2 weeks, because if I give you this, I didn't have it or anything that I know of, but I was like, if I give you that, there's no way. Like I couldn't do it. So.
Because you're a good person. I'm not naming names of other people who have COVID and don't seem to, but because it's a hard thing to do. It's a hard thing to do to not be there with your family when you want to be, to not do the other things, to be,
Yeah.
That selflessness to say, guess I'm Netflixing for 2 weeks.
I did drink some wine and do puzzles. It wasn't the worst. And actually, I was so spoiled. My dad would I can't believe I'm admitting this. It's so embarrassing. He would come up to the guest cabin. He'd text me, bring in dinner. Okay. And he'd bring literally home. I was like, okay, can we just keep doing this actually?
I gotta pretend to be sick for a minute.
Yeah. So
I feel like it was probably a treat for them too, not having to care for you and run you around and whatever when you're younger, just to enjoy you as an adult, and you guys all being art in the arts, having that connectivity and community. I kind of want to build a cabin on your family plot there and be like, we're home. Yeah.
Yes, it was super nice. I feel lucky. I feel really fortunate that my immediate family were super, super close, and I feel just all the love for them. And yeah, it was really nice to be able to do that. And I watched a lot of once it had been 2 weeks, we did a lot of the Great British Bake Off, and we did, what was that show that it was oh, did you guys watch Nailed It at all?
I have seen it.
I think I almost, or maybe peed my pants a little bit watching that show. The first couple, when they show the cakes and you're like, what?
Yeah. And for somebody who hasn't seen it, it's the premise is they have a Pinterest picture or something of some, a cake that looks like Oscar the Grouch from Sesame Street, and then people try to replicate them.
Yes. And the attempted replications are very sad, but very funny. And they make them, as they reveal them, they make them say, nailed it. So funny. But yeah, so we did a lot of the cooking shows, and then my sister and I were like, oh, we should do a nailed it, and then we never did. So maybe we'll do that on Friday. That would be kind of fun.
That would be good.
Okay. I'll send you guys.
That's a good idea. That's a good. Well, we've all been there too, where you start the project with such high hopes, and then you're like, I don't know, grab licorice, make that the mouth. Oh yeah, that totally works. Even when you're not drinking and baking, you've dug yourself in such a hole that you're like, oh, just squint.
I see it. That's definitely Oscar the Grouch.
It's definitely a garbage can anyways, It's
definitely trash.
That is what I have seen a few of those. Those are very.
Yeah. That was good comedic, uplifting times. We needed that in that moment. So yeah. All the feel good. I also, the first part of quarantine was Ozark, because I had never seen it. I don't know if you watched it.
I love that. Yeah.
It was so intense, so good, but I was watching it alone in the guest cabin a lot of times at night after puzzling and wine. And I was just hearing noises, is someone out there? Super good. Highly recommend if you haven't seen it. Anyway, I digress.
Yes.
Did you see the very last one of that? Okay, what? I'm just saying.
So a friend had told me it's crazy, and I was like, okay. And then I was watching the last episode. I didn't think it was the last episode, though. I thought I had 2 more. So I saw it and I was like, there's something that's supposedly crazier than that. But then I was like, oh, no. Okay, cool. I was like, I don't even want to know what it would have been if it was going to be crazier than that. So that was explosive. Whoa.
Yeah.
Highly recommend. Anyway. So now that
I'll
you've
have
gotten
to-
our quarantine pics.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. There you go. Well, I'll have to look into it. I've not seen any, but I'm
Oh, so good, Anne.
well, I finally did get to a point where, and I quit watching anything for about a month and a half.
That's a good call.
I found myself watching some BBC show where they were having replica of Jack the Ripper murders, and I've said, Anne, you've hit a new low here. Maybe it's time. Get a book. Get a book. Do something else. Do something else. Yeah. I've watched a little bit when I work now, but that's about it. Yeah. But I'm ready if we get more this winter. So we'll see.
Yeah. What did you say, Heather? Did you say something about albums?
I said, or listen to new albums, hint, hint.
Oh yes, hint, hint. There were some really, have you guys listened to the new Caitlin Smith album that came out? It's super good. That was like my wine and puzzling. That's what I paired with my wine and puzzling.
Nice.
But then I recently kind of started listening to it again, and I'm just like, God, it's just so good. The songwriting is smart. The melodies are gorgeous, and her voice is so cool. Yeah. I think the album's called Supernova, and it came out, I think, in March or April. But it's very good. So singer-songwriter vibes. But with like a band. Yeah, it's good. Let me know what you think, because I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Okay, you did this one to yourself, since you said you paired wine and puzzles with her album. What would you pair with yours if you were to pick? What would come to mind? I know that's weird.
Oh, like an activity?
What?
Like an activity, you mean?
Whatever you choose. Like yeah, or a drink, and yeah.
Okay. I feel like that's actually one of the best questions I feel like I've ever been asked. I love that question.
Thank you.
Yes. Oh God.
I'm so sorry.
No, I'm trying to I feel like packing would be good. Like if you're moving and you have to pack and because maybe not the beginning of packing, but like the last half of packing, when you're just like, I don't even care what
you don't care.
Just get it done. I hate this. Packing or like, yeah, I feel like packing would be good. And like maybe like not a margarita. I don't know. A margarita sounds good. A hard seltzer while you're packing. Other ideas would be running. I feel like if you're mad, maybe run, and then afterwards treat yourself to some kind of beverage. But I feel like packing. I don't know. I moved recently, and I just, oh God, you always think you have way less shit than you have, and you're like, how is there more? I don't get it. And then you're unpacking, and you're like, where's that one thing I needed, and why didn't I just keep it in my purse? So yeah, packing. I feel like that's it.
Oh, that's good. I do like the running too, since Anne said it made her go a little bit longer, but I do like the kind of powerful and angry songs while running. Kind of like, yeah.
Gets you just like that little pep in your step when you think and I need that right now for myself. I'm not going to listen to myself while I run. That would be weird, but for me it would be weird. But I just moved to like the border of Northeast and Columbia Heights. It's very hilly here, and I started running a little more regularly this summer. Oh my God. There's a hill at this golf course right by me. I have to walk it. I haven't been able to run up it yet. Not once. And I'm like, okay. It's just so long, and in the beginning it's so steep that I feel like I'm like giving it my all, but I'm like walking. I'm like, I'm not even going fast. Anyway. So I need some kind of angry music, you guys.
I was gonna say, wait till you make it up at once, and you're gonna feel like you can do anything.
Oh, I can't wait. And it's weird because I'm not far from like Deming Heights, which is like the tallest point in Minneapolis, and I've done like longer runs where I'll kind of bop down to that area, and always like, without fail, as I'm coming up that hill, there's like a hot guy running down the hill. So I'm like, well, I can't stop now. I have to look strong.
Let's keep going.
But there's never a hot guy running down the really steep hill. So I'm just like, fuck it. I'm walking. Anyway, yeah, but you're right. When I make it up that hill, I'm going to feel like such a badass.
Yep.
Maybe next spring. I don't know.
Oh, you'll have it before then.
I hope so. I hope you're right.
Definitely.
You will eventually. You will eventually. All right, and why don't tell folks where they can find you and where they can find the album and where they can, and I'll provide the links too, so don't worry too much about it, but
okay.
For folks who are just listening.
Sure. Well, so my name is Faith Boblett. B like boy, O, B like boy, L-E, T like tango, T like tango. I am on all social medias. Facebook if you Facebook, Twitter if you want my innermost.
Following you on Twitter is fun.
I'm very intense and ridiculous on Twitter. And then Instagram is like a combination of deepest, darkest thoughts and thirst traps because I don't care. Yeah. And I think that's all my social medias. I am on LinkedIn, but please don't find me on LinkedIn.
Unless they want to hire you maybe as the dental hygienist. I think that would be
right.
There's a job going for you in that world, maybe.
I work Monday through Thursday, so if you got a Friday shift for me, let me know. But my music will be the new album, and all my other music that I've put out is available on all like major streaming services, Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, if you get down with Tidal. I always like to throw that one in there because it's so funny. Amazon Music, all of it. But you can also buy it, you'll be able to buy it on Bandcamp if you wanted to support me directly. And I'm hoping to figure out, I will be pressing this album on vinyl, but it's kind of a process for me to figure out because I've never done it before. So be patient, but I am going to do that. And when I have it ready for like pre-orders and stuff, I'll be posting about it, no doubt. So
nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
That was my long-winded.
No, that we asked you to do it. I think that's good. I think I'm excited for Friday because I said I was listening to it again while I was running today, and I thought, just even hearing the kind of the movement of stuff, I was like, I see how one leads to the other.
Mm-hmm. I'll send you a secret playlist with all of them tonight.
Ooh, score.
If you want.
Yeah, because I'm supposed to run tomorrow. Yes, after my, yes.
Ooh. Dang,
All right.
get it, girl. All this running. Well, thank you both for having me and for the thoughtful questions and just the overall great combo. This was super fun. Very honored.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us, and said I can't wait to see you play again. So I should ask, do you have any shows that you know you're playing?
I don't.
No, I even hate to ask it, but I was
it's a great question.
Excited to see you a couple weeks ago. That was
yes.
God, it wasn't 3. Probably. Anyways, Faith, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you both.